and welcome to Maui Live, Maui's TV and radio show spotlighting Maui's incredible talent. Maui Live is taped live for television and radio each and every week at the Stepping Stone Playhouse in the Queen Ka'ahumanu Center. Maui Live features lots of great music and interviews with celebrities and local businesses. And Maui Live is the home of the Maui Live show band, Old, Maui's old-time rock and roll band. Maui Live is a production of Larry John Wright Hawaii and Silver Pixel Studios. And now, here's the host of Maui Live, TV and radio personality, Eric John Molina. It's time once again for Maui Live.
Hello, I'm Eric John Molina and welcome to Maui Live, Maui's TV and radio show featuring some of Maui's incredible talent.
Aloha, I'm Michael McCartney. Welcome to Maui Live. Our guest on the broadcast, singer-songwriter Kimo Nevius. That is an awesome name. What does that derive from? Is that Spanish or?
It is in fact the Latin version of a Dutch name. Do you want to hear the whole story?
Yeah, I'd like to hear the whole story.
So my great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, are you following us so far?
Lost me already.
Was named Jan Neef, which in Dutch means John the Nephew, and he went to college in about 1610. And when he got out the other side, his name, they had college in 1610, just roll with this. Right. And when he got out the other side, his name had been changed to Latin, Johannes Nevius. And everybody who descends from him has that last name. We now pronounce it Nevius.
Did that happen at the Statue of Liberty? As people came in on Ellis Island?
It happened at the University of Leiden in 1610-ish.
Well, you know what's interesting about you as a singer-songwriter, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but not necessarily old school. There's a lot of wit in what you're doing. It kind of reminds me of, say, like Tom Paxton or Phil Oakes, you know, that whole kind of early
I'll take
folk
those
music
comparisons,
scene.
absolutely.
But, you know, there's a little bit later in the decade, of late 60s, even early 70s, a little bit of Fred Neil and Tim Buckley, Tim Moore. I mean,
you're guessing my age. So,
okay.
you know, so what happens here is that I really get turned on to folk music in the late 1970s, early 1980s, and I start gobbling up Bob Dylan. That was perhaps not the best time to become a Bob Dylan fan because he was just getting out of his gospel phase.
Got to serve somebody.
And into his infidels phase, but I loved it. I loved every single thing. And I've always been a voracious reader, researcher, that sort of thing. So I wanted to know, how did Bob Dylan get to be Bob Dylan? So I started listening to Woody Guthrie, and I started listening to old Delta blues singers. But at the same time I was doing that, I was discovering that there were people like Neil Young and Pete Seeger and the Weavers and all of these groups. And you know, this was great. This was what, if I can put in a pitch for local libraries, you know, this was in the age long before the MP3. Right. And so I was going and checking out LPs from the local library.
Long players.
For those of you who don't know.
Long playing vinyl.
Yes. And setting up my little record player in my room. And, you know, for whatever it was, the 3-week loan period, I would listen to the Weavers on and on and on. And that's actually how I learned to sing and play the guitar, was just copying those people.
Oh, so you were kind of going back in time versus like some of the contemporaries like
and
Steve
so,
Forbert.
And so all of those people who were around, and so that was like the music on the radio if you happened to listen to like the local folk station.
Right.
But I was listening to older stuff. And so it was later that I actually discovered people who were actually more contemporary to what I should have been listening to.
When did you first pick up the guitar? How old were you?
I was 11 or 12, and I took lessons for about 2.5 weeks. And after that point, I decided that while lessons would probably serve me, what was serving me much more was just listening to records and trying to imitate what I was hearing. And it was a lot of Everly Brothers and Buddy Holly, good, easy to play.
4, 5, 6 chords.
Buddy Holly, it's 3 chords. Every song is a 3-chord song. And so I could just play those. And my best friend was really into those groups and Elvis and the Beach Boys. And so these were incredibly influential to me as a guitar player, and then as a songwriter, the sort of pop sensibility that comes into my folk songs is from listening to way too much Beach Boys when I was a kid.
Well, if you got the Beach Boys and the Everly Brothers, what is it like when you're in their bedroom playing guitar by yourself? I can't harmonize with myself.
Sometimes I sing the lead, sometimes I sing the harmony, you know? You just have to choose.
Well, tell you what, we're going to take a listen to some music right now. You're going to perform for us? You up for it?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Right here on Maui Live, singer-songwriter Kimo Nevius.
The song is called No Known Cure for Nostalgia. It's about all those things we hold on to pass down to future generations, whether they want them or not. picture us together when we're growing old, counting out the memories from boxes far too small to hold. Then it all overflows, all the ribbons and bows, scraps of wrapping we thought we might need. I'll hold on to them because they all hold you to me. Newspaper clippings, yellow and brittle with age, and stacks of Polaroid photographs. The emulsion is starting to fade. And those old 8-track tapes we can no longer play. Do they even still make those machines? I'll hold on to them because they all hold you to me. Time goes like a river, it flows cascading down to the sea. Sometimes it floods and it churns up the mud, and the memories they pour over me. Can you picture us pasting our scrapbooks in place, trying to remember whatever name goes with that face? And those Super 8 movies, we all look so groovy, our lips move but don't make a sound. Please hold on to them for when I'm no longer around. Time goes like a river, it flows and the levees can't hold it at bay. Memories rain down and I fear I might drown, or at the very least get swept away. Can you picture us together for time and beyond, long after everything that we once held on to is gone? Old clothing that's frayed slides in carousel trays, and books with their bindings unbound. Please hold on to them for when we're no longer around. Thank you. Thanks very much.
Welcome back to Maui Live. Our musical guest, singer-songwriter Kimo Nevius. You've got one album finished. You've got another one coming along. Where are you in the process? Are you halfway through?
I'm halfway through in my head.
So you haven't recorded a single song yet?
I have started recording. I've picked out all the songs that are going to go on it. It's probably going to be 10 or a dozen tracks. It's called In Search of Lost Time. And a lot of my songs sort of fulfill the same mission, if you will. They're all journeys into the past, whether that's the actual past that I'm singing about in 19th century Maui, or the mythical past, or...
So like most singer-songwriters, you're stuck in the past.
I am. I'm completely obsessed with the past. And so In Search of Lost Time, as you may or may not know, is the better translation of Remembrance of Things Past, the Proust novel.
Well, outside of going to different time frames, do you bring in any kind of real-life experience of your own into some of these songs?
I think you have to. I mean, all you can do is bring real-life experience. Most of the characters in my songs are
you,
not me.
Okay.
But they are obviously based on my own experiences. I mean, I write a lot of songs about traveling the globe because I've been very fortunate to travel the globe. I write a lot of songs that are about characters in situations that are actually kind of depressing. One of my friends has said that my songs sound so upbeat and you sort of tap along to them, and then when you listen to the lyrics you go, oh, and it brings you right down. And I think having that sort of yin-yang is a lot of the experiences that all of us have in life, that things go well and things go poorly, and I try in my songs actually to do a lot that brings those two things together. So a peppy song about the plight of the sugarcane worker.
Yeah, there's almost kind of a Randy Newman or Harry Chapin approach in some of these songs.
Yes, definitely. And there's a certain, I really admire Randy Newman for being able to get to the nub of the matter and do it in a funny way.
But you'll have to admit, there's a lot of people that think when he's singing those songs that truly is his opinion.
Correct.
They just get so absorbed in it. You don't run into that problem, though, do you?
I do. I run into this problem all the time,
really?
Where actually I will sing
So what is that like? I mean,
sometimes I'll sing a song about how, my woman left me and my life is over, and people in the audience will be looking at my wife going, really? And no, that is the character who's had these terrible things happen to him.
Because as a musician, it's acting, right?
Correct.
Wow. Now, the name of your first album is titled?
Kimo Nevius Live. It's recorded on various venues around Maui and in New York City. And the new one's called In Search of Lost Time, and I hope to have it done by the end of the year.
Well, we look forward to hearing that. We're going to have you do another song, but I did want to ask you, when you're performing live, half the album being Maui and the other half being New York, do the audiences seem the same to you and how they react to you when you perform live?
It's interesting. They are different, and they're different in sometimes obvious and sometimes subtle ways. I get a lot of mileage when I'm in New York City performing as the guy from Maui, and people are absolutely fascinated by the songs about Maui history. Here, sometimes, you know, I start singing about, again, 19th century sugar plantations is one of my themes. People are like, yeah, whatever. But that being said, when people listen to those songs, they will then come up to me afterwards and say, you know, that's exactly what my grandfather did. Or, you know, that's why I'm here on island, and no one ever really talks about these things. So
that's got to make you feel real special.
It does, and it opens up a topic. I mean, I feel like Hawaiian history often is ancient Hawaii and modern Hawaii, and we leave out the plantation era. So that's what I've chosen to focus on a lot.
You can find his CD online, very easy, the music that we've been talking about, at kimosongs.com. So right now, let's go ahead and let him pick up his guitar. Singer-songwriter Kimo Nevius, right here on Maui Live.
This is a song about working in the sugarcane plantations on Maui. It's called Hey Ho. Wake up every morning to the rooster's cry. The mill is already spilling smoke into the sky. Every day is difficult and every day's the same. But the only work that I know how to do is sugarcane. Work 6 days a week, 10 hours at a stretch. All I've got to show for it is 90 cents. Every week I try to save a little more, but you know that old song about the company store. So hey, ho, come on, it's time to go. Load that train with sugar cane before the whistle blows. There's a boat in Kahului that's heading for Frisco Bay. If it's not loaded up by sunset, there'll be hell to pay. So hey, ho, bundle up that coat. There'll be time to sleep on Sunday. Swing your bolo low. The man in Manila said that this was paradise. We sailed 5 weeks to get here, and imagine my surprise. Sometimes we work so hard I fear I'm gonna die. I wish to God I was back home in Boracay. So hey, ho, come on, it's time to go. Load that train with sugar cane before the whistle blows. There's a boat in Kahului that's heading for Frisco Bay. If it's not loaded up by sunset, there'll be hell to pay. So hey, ho, bundle up that coat. There'll be time to sleep on Sunday. Swing your bolo low. And on Sunday, we wake up at the break of day to go fishing at the bay. And Mr. Spreckle says that someday we'll make him the richest man in California. Hey, 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 ho. So hey, ho, come on, it's time to go. Load that train with sugar cane before the whistle blows. If every car's not overflowing, find some more that you can stuff. We're making pennies on the dollar here, and the tariffs just went up. So hey, ho, bundle up that coat. There'll be time to sleep on Sunday. Swing your bolo low. Swing your bolo low. Swing your bolo low. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
And now, here's some comedy from Power Up Comedy.
Thank you. Yes. Hello, everybody. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Chino. It's a Spanish word that means Chinese. But I'm neither. I know what you guys are thinking after that. What nationalities are you? I'm Hawaiian, Korean, Guamanian, German, French, Irish, Polish, Native American. Which is proof of worldwide love, as I like to say. It means a couple of good things. First of all, I can tell any racist joke and no one gets offended. Wonderful. Another thing it means is that every relationship I've ever been in has been an interracial one. Which is great, am I right? Ladies are there, right? All about pissing off daddy. You know how it goes. Good to see ya. I've worked a lot of interesting jobs in my past. One of my favorite is working at the bars. Every night happens on repeat. It's always the same thing. Like, first of all, at 9:30, the creepy guy shows up and stands next to the DJ just like... and just waits. He just waits there. 11:30, all the beautiful girls start showing up with the low-cut shirts and the short skirts. And I have to kick them out within 45 minutes because every guy bought them a drink and they get hammered. And it always plays out the same way, like, I know, sweetie, you don't want to go, I know, but it's time to go. But you yourself, come on, time to go. I know. And then I send him down the stairs, and then the creepy guy in the corner is just like, she's ready. Saying, ladies, be careful. I've seen things that nobody should ever have to see. I have seen transvestites fight. Yeah, that deserves every little ounce of that reaction. It's like an Andy Warhol motif of masculine to feminine polarity. It's beautiful. It's an art piece. Or it's like, excuse me, Tilla, what'd you say? Mary? What you said, Mary? No, okay, fine. Hold my pumps, girl. No, hold my purse. Hold my wig. I'm going to lick this brada. It's like, whoa. You went from Mary Magdalene to Manny Pacquiao like that. It's intense. It's intense. Oh, man. Also, if you're at the bar and you have that moment where you spill your drink, you know everybody has that moment where everybody looks at you and it's deathly embarrassing. Remember this phrase, it'll get you out of trouble every time. You drop your drink, psst, everybody looks. This is the worst birthday ever. Exactly. Free drinks for the rest of the night. That's how you do it. I've used that one 1,000 times. I can't tell you how many birthdays I've had. But Chuck E. Cheese would be insulted. That's all I know. I used to work at the Triangles in Kihei, and every bar has a different feel. I remember one night I was actually going out to drink, and I had this shirt that said Tabasco. And I was like, oh, I like that shirt, because Tabasco's hot, and maybe girls will look at it and think I'm hot. I don't know. It's a long shot, but it's all I got, guys, really. So I walk out, and strut to the bar. I get my first beer, and I'm feeling pretty good looking. And then I feel like I should say I'm at Ambrosia's, because that's very important for this next part. Because this small gay gentleman was staring at me. He noticed my swagger, apparently. And I'm drinking. He's just looking at me like, Tabasco. Is that because you're hot? I'm like, damn, he got it. Oh, God. Alcohol is a very interesting product because it's legal and it causes all these problems in people's lives. And I'm a little bit of a marijuana advocate, I'm not gonna lie. And what I don't understand is, why is it still illegal? First of all, they say it's dangerous, which is a lie, because I won't cut a tomato when I'm stoned. I don't know about you guys. People drink themselves to death. You ever hear somebody smoking themselves to death? I've tried. You can smoke yourself to nap. That's the closest you get, pretty much. And the part that bothers me the most, this one bothers me the most, is that people say that marijuana makes you stupid, which I think is the biggest lie of all time. I don't know about you guys, but marijuana taught me something in 7th grade that no other 7th grader knew. Taught me the metric system. I can tell you how many grams an ounce, how many ounces a pound, how many pounds in a kilo. Find another 7th grader to tell you that, let alone slang you that. Wait, did I just learn supply and demand? Economics? Like a boss? That's how we do it. And now they have drinks like Four Loko. Have you guys heard of Four Loko? Yeah. For those of you that do not know, Four Loko is a malt liquor energy drink, which creates a completely different type of homeless person. I was recently accosted by a homeless person, and he threatened to key my car, and the only thing I could think was, why do you have keys? All right, thanks for having me on Maui Live. My name's Chino LaForge. Enjoy.
Aloha, how you doing? This is Maui Live. I'm Michael McCartney, our guest, stand-up comic, funny man. What other word can I use to describe Chino LaForge? What best describes you?
Best describe infamous. I like infamous. That sounds
infamous.
nice.
That brings up like prison records.
Yes. It's a level of fame that transcends the community service work. Yeah, I like that.
Well, once you got out of the community service and picking up trash on the side of the road, when did comedy become part of your calling, so to speak?
I actually knew from since high school that I was going to be a stand-up comedian.
Were you in the back of the class?
Yeah, and then teachers would always move me to the front for being annoying. And it was when I graduated with a 2.5 average, I knew I had to do something drastic. And stand-up comedy was just natural for me. I was used to making people laugh all my life. And I knew I had kind of an advantage when I was 13, making adults laugh, and then kids my age were kind of scratching their heads, so I was kind of onto something, yeah.
Oh, you were over their heads, so they didn't talk to you during lunch hour.
Well, I mean, public schools in Hawaii, come on.
Oh, okay, yeah, makes sense. The aspect of you taking your comedy from Hawaii to the mainland, what was that like for you the first time?
You know, it was really interesting because I was forced to take a lot of my material that I had made so entwined with my with the Hawaiian culture that when I went to the mainland, I had to readapt that material to still tell it from a cultural perspective, but at the same time tell it to a third party.
Did you readapt it the following night, or I mean,
yeah,
did you do it before you went on stage?
It was a quick curve of learning. I had no real time to kind of practice that, and I just kind of threw myself in the fire and see how it went, and it hit.
Yeah, they took off with it. Now,
mainland loves Hawaii, man.
Now, what is it about comedy itself that drew you to it?
Well, there's a lot of problems in the world, and there's many ways that people cope. You know, some people get stressed out. Some people take it out on loved ones. I prefer to make a complete satire of everything in the world and laugh at everything, no matter how inappropriate it is to laugh at it. And it helps me cope. It helps me cope.
You save a lot of money on therapy, I assume.
Oh, yeah. And as a matter of fact,
and you get paid for it.
People give me money to save money. It's pretty nice.
What's been the most off-the-wall thing that's happened to you during stand-up?
Oh, God. Well, we get hecklers in this trade. And the most off-the-wall one I got was this paraplegic man was heckling me. And that's always the most difficult type to handle because you don't know where the sensitivity level is. So I just decided to go all out on this guy. I was like, you know what, this is my last night of comedy. I went, sir, I know I seem very nice and friendly, but if you speak again, I'm gonna slit your tires. You're gonna call AAA and it's gonna be really embarrassing. It's gonna be the worst moment of your life. Well, the second worst since the accident. And
oh,
I know, that's really edgy, but he laughed the hardest in the audience and came up to me afterwards and told me that, oh, you're my favorite comedian. I was like, thank you. Oh God, I was definitely a little worried about that, but it worked.
Awesome. Well, if you just joined us, you're watching Maui Live with Chino LaForge, stand-up comic. You've got a great website that people can check out.
Yes.
What you're doing. Describe it to us.
You can check out myself as well as other of Maui's stand-up comedians at powerupcomedy.com. Powerupcomedy.com.
And what is this website all about?
The website is an interactive media site that we have. We have videos, we have our biographies, we have photos from shows. You can buy tickets to our upcoming shows. It's really just a hotspot for comedy. It's a plethora of material.
And are there online hecklers as well?
Oh yes. We actually had a couple of bikers heckle us via the internet. Thank you, Steel Horse Saloon. Wonderful. I miss you, Ahaz.
Chino LaForge joining us right here on Maui Live.
And now, here's the Maui Live show band. Old.
1, 2. goes like this. Oh, you ought to see my little sis.
Well, that's all the time we have for this week's Maui Live, Maui's TV and radio show spotlighting Maui's incredible talent. Maui Live is taped live for television and radio each and every week at the Stepping Stone Playhouse in the Queen Ka'ahumanu Center. Find out more at MauiLiveShow.com. Maui Live features lots of great music and interviews with celebrities and local businesses. And Maui Live is the home of the Maui Live show band, Old, Maui's old-time rock and roll band. Maui Live is a production of Larry John Wright Hawaii and Silver Pixel Studios. See you next week for Maui Live.